On Friday at 1:51 p.m., I posted that MGOL might be a fun one if it breaks through the $6 mark. 7 minutes later, it ripped up 15% and into a volatility halt. So what about this ticker's market structure made me formulate the trade plan that it could break out in such a manner? Let's back out to the daily chart first. Whenever I am looking at intraday trades, I'm always starting with the daily. I'm running scanners on the daily charts. I want to be finding strong stocks on the daily that I know have bullish tailwinds behind them. A lot of traders are already watching it, maybe looking for reasons to get into it. It's already beginning to make a move, right? Just for more verification, you can see here that I posted on Twitter, or X, whatever you're calling it nowadays, at 9:32, also on Friday morning, my runners scanner list for the day, and MGOL, the ticker we're talking about today, was the number one stock on that scanner. So what is the scanner? What am I looking for? Without getting too much into it, I'm looking for stocks that on the previous day on heavy volume broke above recent highs. MGOL was obviously the stock we traded yesterday, or Friday, should I say. Let's take a look at some of the other tickers that were also on the scanner. APPS was also on the scanner going into Friday. As you can see, heavy volume stock breaking over recent highs. ASTS was another stock that was on the scanner Thursday, heavy volume, breaking over recent highs. So there's a little bit more intricacy to the scanner than that, but I've already made a video on the scanner and it is available on my website, link in the description down below if you would like to download it yourself. So I'm not going to get too into it, but at the end of the day, really what I'm scanning for is daily bar strength on the day prior before we're looking for bullish moves intraday today on our market structure. All right, so let's hop into the 5-minute time frame. That's the time frame that I watch when I do my intraday trading, and let's take a look at the intraday market structure that made me really like this setup. We have it set up here to the bar that I made my post on, and let's just talk through what happened. So once again, on the daily chart, it's on the scanner right out of open. I'm already watching this stock, but stocks are very hard to trade right out of open. That's when volatility is the highest, and especially on these low float, typically low volume stocks, they are extremely whippy, extremely hard to predict. So it had a big move up in pre-market, tried to open very strong, but then just sort of based down. So this whole area here, I'm not looking to trade this thing, right? I'm just letting it make its base, let it decide what it wants to do today. And honestly, I stopped watching it for a while. I stopped watching this stock because listen to me, a lot of times stocks will be on that scanner that I just showed you and they will just fade the next day, right? That happens a lot. The point, like stocks that pop up on that scanner, it doesn't mean that they always go, right? No, it just, that scanner is to give you an idea of what can make explosive bullish moves today, right? You still have to wait, watch, be patient, trade the right setups. It doesn't just mean, hey, it's on the scanner, go buy it, right? So this thing once again faded during the opening morning session. Wasn't really too concerned about it. But then this bar right here, when this bar went up like this and you saw the volume increasing, please, I will mention this as I go through this video, but volume is the most important indicator. It gives validity to moves, right? Because like this candle here, for instance, this candle got a nice little like pump up, but not on really any heavier volume than any of these previous candles. So it's not that valid of a move, right? Whereas when this candle gets its move up, its volume is over most of the previous volume bars. It's getting a significant volume increase behind this candle. So once that candle happens, I'm watching this stock again. But I'm not just jumping into it blindly, right? Let's see what it does. Let's see what kind of market structure it can create. And when it began to build this base here, when it began to prove that it could hold this strength, and not only hold this strength, but even make a couple of higher lows here, and basing against a whole dollar resistance, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second, I really started to like obviously right here once again is where I made my post. I really started to like the way this thing was looking. So I did just draw these lines on my chart, but I just want to make clear to you all watching, I am in no way a technical analysis trader. I don't draw lines on the chart and think like, oh, the next time the stock drops down to this line, it's likely to bounce. I don't really believe in that stuff, but I believe in what technical analysis is meant to represent, if that makes sense, right? I don't trade based off the lines, but when I see a stock making higher lows like this, I understand that that means demand is stepping in higher than it was previously. What does that mean? More psychologically than just like, a line on a chart. It means that people want into this stock. People aren't letting it get to the price it dipped to before. They are more eager to rush into it. That means demand is bubbling up, and all price action is, all the price of a stock is supply and demand. Supply being the float of the stock, demand being, of course, you and I and other traders around the world willing to buy this thing. So higher lows like this signify to me increasing demand against the supply, which of course for anything in economics is bullish for that price. Next, let's touch on this $6 line up here. I am a big believer in psychological resistances, right? People don't want to pay $6 for something when they can pay $5.99. I mean, this is widely market proven. Why is everything in your local Walmart $5.99 instead of $6? You know it's $6. I mean, you know, like outright when you think about it, okay, that's a $6 product. But when your mind sees $5.99, I mean, these retail stores have spent hundreds of millions of dollars researching this stuff. It is legit proven you are more likely to buy it. So even if I extend this to the left here, you can see already today, this stock has struggled to find demand above this $6 psychological resistance. And just quickly looking back, I even said in my post that I am watching that $6 break. I don't want to be buying before the $6 break. I want the break to happen and then look to play the massive continuation that could come from that once again, stepping all the way back because we know on the daily chart that this stock already has lots of bullish eyes watching it. Then, as you all already know, over the next 2 5-minute bars, the stock does end up breaking through 6, ripping up 15-20% into a volatility halt. But what I want to do quickly here is I want to jump down to the 1-minute chart so I can show you a little bit more granularly in more real time what really happened here. Because in the 5-minute, it looked pretty clean, right? Oh, it tried 6, and then the second time it just ripped through. But really, I mean, look at what happened. It struggled. For 4 minutes here, it touched 6 and tried, just didn't quite, once again, always be keeping an eye on the volume down here. Didn't quite have the volume to break through the psychological resistance, to break through people hitting the sell button, because that's another big thing that I didn't even touch on the psychology of the whole dollar. People also, there is so many more people. I'm not going to make up a percent right now. 69% of statistics are all made up, but there are so many more people that aren't trading like you and I, that aren't trading as specifically as you and I are. People that just bought this stock because they read a news article on it and now they see it approaching 6. So they just go, I'll just put my sell order at 6. You know, if it hits 6, I'll sell. I promise you there are a ton of people doing that, not worrying about the pennies so much. So it's trying to break through that. And then on this 1-minute bar, when it does break through, it closes, this 1-minute bar closes above 6. And it gets the highest volume out of the previous 4 bars that tried to break through, once again, giving validity to the move. This is where I'm entering this stock. I'm waiting for the break of 6. I'm waiting for the confirmation, because how many times have you tried to play a breakout that just failed back down on you? You put your hand up. I've done it hundreds of times too when I was a beginner trader. And hell, I mean, it even still happens, right? None of this is guaranteed. I could have, there will still be times where you get heavy volume, the bar closes, you buy, and it still fails. that will still happen, I promise you. I'm not giving you like a golden goose here that will always work. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist in the stock market. But what I am giving you is ways that you can increase your winning percentage, right? So once again, broke through, closed, heavy volume, entered the trade, let it ride, had a lot of fun from there. Once again, the scanner that I used to find this trade, along with 50 other scanners, indicators, strategies, are all available on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. And if you use coupon code POST at checkout, you're going to get your first month for only $5. That is over 50 codes for $5, ladies and gentlemen. Hit like, hit subscribe, check out daytradingstrategies.net in the link in the description down below.